adventurers, it's Phoenix. I hope you're doing well and happy Friday. We got some more information today. I was actually recording a video yesterday with just some speculation about why we haven't had a whole lot of information come out recently, and I'm glad I didn't publish it because all that information basically, or my speculation, was more or less confirmed today. So that would have been a kind of a moot point. But today we did get some more information. So in the announcements channel on the Pax Dei Discord, we got confirmation that Pax Dei will appear at the PC Gaming Show, which is on June 11th. So I think basically what my speculation yesterday was that the reason why they've been so quiet is because I think they're polishing up whatever they can to make it into somewhat of a presentable videos or content, whatever it'll end up being, for the PC Gaming Show. I think Spire confirmed it this morning in chat. So they are also, it looks like they're making another FAQ and video on the making the world of Pax Dei. So those updates are coming in less than 10 days. So just basically like right around that same time where PC Gaming Show is going to be. So I'm super excited for more of that information. So we also know they again confirmed alpha dates are not going to be shared soon. It's still in that before too long phase. But they're not ready to make a push for an actual date yet. So we did, along with that information, we got some screenshots again to look at. So this is more information or more screenshots from the family and friends testing that's currently going on. And so I thought I'd take a minute or two just to kind of go through and kind of talk about my thoughts about each of the screenshots. I've already looked through them. There's some interesting things out there. I think that will, at least at this point, kind of more or less confirm certain things. But a lot of these are, I think they've labeled them as like bloopers, basically. So starting with this first one. So the obvious one is that there is some sort of an animal up here. I think this is a bear because of another screenshot later that we'll see. But it's kind of blurry because the actual image is pretty small. But I also see this guy has some flame coming out of his head. So my first thought when I saw this was, oh, I wonder if that's like a some sort of a magical helmet that the guy has, because he's obviously decked out in some other nice looking gear. But yeah, so the obvious the title of the picture is even called Attacked from Above. So the focus on this one is obviously the bear or whatever this animal is. So next one, this one's funny because you've got a guy that's just running away from these three NPCs, as well as and again, this is what I think why it's a bear in the first one. I find it interesting. I just noticed that these guys all have this cross shape on their forehead. So that's interesting. You've got a couple of different skin types and facial hair and things of that nature. Obviously the guy's running away, but these guys look kind of beefy to me. Yeah, it'll be interesting to know and learn more about what those guys are. So this one's pretty simple. This looks like a torch, and it looks like it's being held upside down. So I'm guessing there's some sort of, it's probably a bug in the game. So just thinking about, oh yeah, there's still a work in progress. There's a lot going on that's still being updated. So I thought that was just interesting. This one's kind of neat. You can see the tree that's in the background there. So it looks like there's some some sort of environmental structural check logic. So the tree is obviously leaning in and through another tree, but just thought that was interesting. Got a FPS counter 22. That's not very high. Maybe the person that has this is playing on like a laptop or something. Who knows? All right, so next one is what appear to be wolves, and it looks like, based on the shadows, it looks like they're actually floating. Maybe there's definitely one floating back here. I think it's also interesting, it doesn't seem like they're hostile towards the player down here. I mean, there's 5 of them in a row, or not in a row, 5 of them in this area. You've got a couple of what I think are deer. So that's interesting. I wonder, again, more bugs. The next one is it looks like a work in progress structure with a significant, I don't know if you would call this a balcony, because I feel like a balcony is kind of on the end and this is more going up. But it's interesting, you know. So in one of the later screenshots, there is definitely concern about structural integrity. However, Norix, I think it was, in Discord chat this morning, did confirm that they've turned off structural integrity for right now because of some bugs. It looks like there's even, I just noticed this, it looks like a big pole standing here on top of whatever this piece is. So structural integrity is supposedly currently turned off for the family and friends testing, and you'll see that later on for sure. But yeah, so this is just another interesting piece of that puzzle, I think, that is still being worked on. Got some more floating chests. You can see that it's private, so that's, I don't know if that's new or not. I can't remember if we've seen that this has been labeled as private, but obviously, like, there's floating chests, so that's again probably more about the structural integrity, physics, platforming, things like that. But we also see a little glimpse, you know, that this is a private chest, so the permission system, we're starting to see a little bit more of that. So this one is called physics, and I didn't notice it at first until I downloaded it and looked at the screenshot a little bit more closely. But you can see there are like torches on the ground. There's a torch up here. It looks like there's probably a torch in the background here. So just kind of interesting. I don't know if like those are placed on the ground. Maybe for lighting. I know we've seen braziers in the past, screenshots. So just kind of interesting that there's some sort of a, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's a feature to place these or what, but that's interesting. Here is, this one's funny. That looks like the bear's trying to get in the house. I wonder if he is, you know, aggroed to the player that's in here, and that's why he is knocking at the window, so to speak. But that's, yeah, it's fun. All right, so here's the the structural integrity check that I mentioned. Very obvious that the structural integrity is not on. You've got a significant tower here. You know, so well done to the family and friends testers that built this. This is pretty awesome, all things considered. But I mean, look at the size of it, just how. So this, you know, presumably this is on a couple of plots just because of the size, but it's also a very, very tall, you know, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers on that tower. There's another 3 or 4 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So so that's what, another 30, 35 stories on top of the kind of the main building there. And obviously this stretches out for probably just as far out in a particular direction with additional buildings up and down. So structural integrity still needs some work, it looks like. But like I said, you know, well done for the folks that are testing. I mean, this is actually encouraging to me because it's showing that the family and friends testers aren't just exploring. They're not just, you know, fiddling around with certain things, but they're pushing the limits. And so that's encouraging to me as somebody who's done testing in the past. They're looking for ways to, in essence, break the systems that are there. This is just a simple one where the deer is walking upstairs. I think that's kind of funny. So, you know, I don't know what sort of pathing exists, obviously, but interesting that the deer is walking up the stairs. So this is a really interesting one to me. There's kind of a bit to unpack here. So thinking through some of the past content we've received, whether that's primarily the screenshot gallery, there were, and I think I even talked about this in one of my last videos, there are a couple of characters that are in the bottom corner of one of the screenshots. And I think this is the same NPC. So what's interesting is there's actually a name. It says a Zebian Sentinel. the coloring of this particular NPC looks really close to it, to that original picture. So this is what I think to be the same NPC or creature. You know, you can see that there's definitely a darker shade on the bottom half, which looks to be like whatever the skirt thing is, and then a lighter top half. So just talking about design, I think that's what those guys are. What's also interesting is they're presumably enemy NPCs. So, you know, having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 NPCs all laid out like this is kind of interesting. You can speculate that either these are really easy NPCs, or maybe the player character here was able to just kind of defeat them all pretty quick. I think there's also, you know, interesting information here. It says process. So there's some sort of like I think we already know there's a loot mechanism, because that's part of what MMOs are, but it's interesting that they don't just outright drop loot when they die. You know, I think of games like New World or WoW, where it just, you know, you got a bag on the ground somewhere or items on the ground. So there's an actual process to presumably how we would get the loot that's dropped. So very interesting in this one, because like I said, we've seen a little bit of these guys, I think, just from a distance, and now we can actually put a name to them and call them an NPC, and call them by Zebian Sentinel. This one I'm completely perplexed at. I don't know. This looks like a boot, like a giant boot with whatever pink is inside. Like, I don't know. I wonder if this is more just kind of design work that's being done. Maybe this is just something that hasn't been fully textured yet. Like, I just have no idea, but interesting nonetheless. Maybe it's something magical related, but this is the first time we've seen anything that looks like this. So I'm not really sure what to make of it. And I think this might be the last one. It is, yes. So the last one. So this just is, in my mind, a confirmation that death mechanics are a thing, but it also communicates that there are multiple shrines, because it says the nearest shrine. There's a respawn mechanic. So there's a lot we still don't know. Like, do you lose all your items when you die? This guy's obviously basically naked. So that kind of begs the question, did he lose the items as he died? Did he walk around naked? We don't know. Like, there's nothing visible on the ground that I can see, so it doesn't seem like there's items there, but he may not have even had items to begin with. Maybe he just jumped off a cliff. So more questions, but more answers too. I think that, yeah, like I said, that was the last screenshot we got today. We're approaching 15 minutes. Wow. That's crazy. So that's it for today's video. Like I said, the PC gaming show is coming up on June 11th, I think 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time is when the PC gaming show starts. I think Eltari and I will be kind of co-streaming this. I'm very, very new to streaming. I basically only record videos. I've never really done live streaming, at least with a camera and a microphone. So that'll be interesting, but stay tuned for that. Eltari will probably have way more information about it than I will, because I think I'm just going to be kind of joining it. But it'll be interesting to see what Pax Dei will provide. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you are. And with that, I just want to wish you a happy weekend. Congratulations again. We made it to another weekend. And we will chat soon in Discord. So take care.